this short video, we will be examining the Auto Assign feature. I would encourage you to view the Auto Dispatching Work Orders video tutorial before viewing this video if you have not done so already. The Auto Dispatching Work Orders video explains in detail the concept of selection rules. Understanding this concept will aid your understanding of the Auto Assign feature. So what is Auto Assign? The Auto Assign feature is a tool that is used to automatically vet and assign providers without the user having to open the individual work orders, manually vet the requesting providers on each work order, and then assign the requesting providers through a manual and possibly time-consuming process. What kind of work orders can be auto-assigned? The feature can be used to auto-assign providers to a single work order, multiple unrelated break-fix work orders, or hundreds of work orders for a single project or across multiple projects at the same time. There are three important items to remember regarding auto-assign. First off, auto-assign only applies to published work orders that have received electronic requests from providers. It does not apply to routed work orders. Secondly, auto-assign only functions on work orders that have been associated to a specific project. Thirdly, the project that the work order is associated to must have a default selection rule currently applied to it. To verify that your project does indeed have a default selection rule currently applied to it, you can navigate to your project listing page, select your project, select the Edit button, select a default selection rule. In this case, I've selected the Connection Project rule. So this will be the selection rule utilized when I auto-assign work orders that are associated to this specific project. Let's see how this works. Follow these steps to auto-assign your work orders. Step 1. Select the Publish Routed tab and choose the work order or work orders to auto-assign. You can select a single work order to auto-assign by clicking the checkbox next to that work order. You can choose multiple work orders for multiple projects. The selected work orders do not have to be related to the same project for the auto-assign to function. Or you can use your advanced search and filters to isolate to a set of work orders, such as a specific project. Step 2, click the Auto-Assign button. Then click the Confirmation button to immediately start the auto-assign process. Auto-assign evaluates each of the selected work orders independently. It will assign the highest ranking provider based on the selection rule that was chosen at the project level. The assigned provider must meet all the required criteria established on the selection rule to be eligible to be auto-assigned. The program will never automatically assign any provider that has counteroffered your work order. So let's recap those assignment parameters one more time. Auto-assign will automatically assign the highest ranking provider who meets all the required criteria defined in the project's associated selection rule, who has not counter-offered the work order. Some things to note. Work orders that were assigned through the auto-assign process will automatically move to the Assign tab. Work orders that were not assigned through this process remain in the Publish Routed tab, where you can run the auto-assign process again at a later time. Use cases. Many companies will first use auto-dispatch to deploy and assign their work orders. Then they will use the auto-assign at a later time to assign those work orders that were not assigned during the original auto-dispatch process. With project-based work orders, many companies utilize a multi-step approach to auto-assigning their work orders. They do this by creating multiple selection rules for the same project, each rule having descending degrees of required criteria. They first run auto-assign by using the selection rule that contained the most stringent or toughest set of required criteria. They do this to assign the most qualified providers based on that toughest criteria to their work orders. They will then update their default selection rule on the project settings with the next toughest selection rule and run auto-assign again. This pass would assign those requesting providers that meet their reduced requirements but are still qualified to perform the work based on their rule. Let's look at some of the primary differences between auto-dispatching and auto-assigning work orders. Auto-dispatch can only be performed on work orders that reside in the Draft tab. Auto-assign can only be performed on published work orders that reside in the Published Routed tab. Auto-dispatch work orders do not have to belong to a project. Auto-assign work orders must belong to a project. Auto-dispatch allows you to choose from any of your selection rules before running the auto-dispatch process. Auto-assign only uses the default selection rule that is associated to the project that the work order is associated to. Auto-dispatch work orders require the user to set a duration of time before the automated assignment can occur. This duration of time is required so that the work orders can collect requests by the interested providers. Auto-assign occurs immediately. The process itself may take a few minutes based on the number of work orders that you've selected and the number of requests that those work orders have received and need to be evaluated. In conclusion, auto-assign is used to automatically vet and assign requesting providers to your project-based work orders. It reduces the time required to manually vet and assign providers to individual work orders. Auto-assign only works on published work orders that have received electronic requests from providers. The work orders must be associated to a project. The project must have a default selection rule associated to it. You may want to experiment with this feature by trying it on a single project-based work order. And this concludes the tutorial on the auto-assign feature. Thank you.